In the mid-19th century, amidst the towering mountains and dense forests of the Caucasus, a leader was born who would become a symbol of Muslim resistance against the Russian Empire's colonization. His name was Imam Shamil, a disciple of the Naqshbandi Sufi order who later became both the military and spiritual leader for the Muslim peoples of Dagestan and Chechnya. Shamil was born in 1797 in the village of Gimri, in the region of Dagestan, which at the time was part of the Persian Empire but was then targeted by Russian expansion. He belonged to the Avar ethnic group, one of the mountain tribes that deeply valued Islamic principles and tribal honor. From a young age, Shamil showed remarkable intelligence. He studied religious sciences such as fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, hadith, prophetic traditions, and tasawwuf, Sufism, under local scholars. He also mastered traditional martial arts and military strategy. More than that, he was known for his noble character and charismatic personality. As a young man, Shamil joined the Muridism movement, an Islamic reform movement aiming to unite the Muslims of the Caucasus under a single spiritual and military leadership. This movement was rooted in the teachings of the Naqshbandi order, which emphasized discipline, spiritual jihad, mujahada, and resistance to colonial domination. After the deaths of two previous imams, Imam Ghazi Mawla and Gamzat Bek, in 1834 Shamil was appointed as the third imam of the movement. He was recognized as Imam al-Caucas, the spiritual and military leader of the Muslims in the Caucasus. With only tens of thousands of troops from local tribes, Shamil led a resistance for over 25 years against the Russian Empire's forces, which numbered in the hundreds of thousands, were better equipped, and more organized. Shamil was not just a military leader but also a spiritual guide. He established an Islamic governance system in the territories under his control, with Sharia as the foundation of law. He formed a Shura council, set up Islamic courts, and united various tribes that had previously been in conflict. Using guerrilla tactics in the Caucasus Mountains, Shamil's forces were extremely difficult to defeat. He used the harsh mountainous terrain to defeat Russian troops in many battles. The Tsar's army called him the Lion of the Mountains, but the struggle was tough. His people suffered from sieges, famine, and relentless attacks by Russian forces. In 1859, after 2 decades of unrelenting resistance and losing much territory as well as support from tribes growing weary of war, Imam Shamil finally surrendered honorably to General Baryatinsky at Mount Gunib. However, this surrender was not a shameful defeat. Even the Russian soldiers respected him. Tsar Alexander II invited him to St. Petersburg, and Shamil was treated as an honored guest. He lived in exile but remained respected as a great leader. In 1869, the Tsar allowed Shamil to perform the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. In the Holy Land, Shamil was welcomed as a hero of the Muslim world. He passed away shortly after, in 1871, in Medina, and was buried in Jannat al-Baqi, near the graves of the Prophet's companions. To this day, the name Imam Shamil is remembered as a symbol of Muslim resistance to imperialism. In modern Russia, especially in Dagestan, Chechnya, and the North Caucasus, his name remains a source of pride and inspiration. Islam remains the second largest religion in Russia. Despite a history full of challenges, including repression during the Soviet era, Muslims in Russia have revived their faith, building mosques, madrasas, and renewing their spiritual heritage. Figures like Imam Shamil continue to inspire young Russian Muslims to stay firm in their faith, love knowledge, and strive for goodness.